Hello friends, and welcome back to a new YouTube video. Halloween season is officially upon us, which I'm super excited about. Halloween means dressing up in costumes, and I love costumes. Today we will be making a Halloween costume for my family's little Halloween bash in basically a week and a bit. But I'm optimistic that this is going to be a fun and easy project, which is we are doing a Pierrot Clown, or also known as sad clown. It's the sad clown. So yeah, that is the kind of the plan I have. We're gonna do a Pierrot Clown, a Halloween costume, which basically looks like giant pajamas, which I am so excited about. And I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna get right into it. Okay, so this is the game plan here. This is the pattern we're using today for my Pierrot Clown costume. We're gonna be using this one in the middle. It seems the most simple and just classic, though I will be doing mine all just one solid color because that is all I have. The pattern is McCall's 4944. If you're curious to try to make one yourself, this is it. I got this at the thrift store for $2. And I've already taken out the instructions for all the pieces, so we have all our pieces here that we're going to be using. The best part about this pattern so far that I'm gathering is it's literally like 5 steps and like 6 or 7 pieces. Like, it is so straightforward and I am so excited. Okay, so as far as materials and what we'll be using, it's pretty simple. We'll just be using some black yarn to make the pom-poms, and then I have this white bed sheet that I got the other day from the thrift shop for like $8 or something like that, $9 maybe plus tax, that we're gonna use for the rest of the costume. And then I have some EVA foam that I have left over from my witch Halloween costume, where I use this to make the brim of the hat. So I'm gonna cut out some of this and we're gonna make a tiny little birthday hat to add to the costume, and then we're just gonna wrap it around. That's really all there is though, as far as like materials list goes. It's really just those 3 things, which is glorious. Nice and simple. We love that. So the first thing I'm gonna do though is I'm going to probably have to go upstairs because there's just not enough floor space in this room at the moment. Alright, I've been really obsessed with what are they called? The YouTube videos where it's just like ambience autumn background, or like Hogwarts oh my gosh, what is, my brain is like short-circuiting right now. But you know what I mean, like all those like ambience aesthetic videos that you just kind of have like in the background where it's like rainy day and I don't know, Stars Hollow, or like POV walking through the village and over the garden wall, that kind of vibe, those videos. I've been obsessed with those kinds of videos and a lot of like Halloween instrumental music playlists that are not creepy, just like the cute, cozy kind. They're all like lullabies. Alright, let us begin sewing. I've done a dummy mistake. I should have seen this coming. I should have foretold this. So I'm downstairs now, back in my sewing room, and I was about to sew the shirts, and I'm unfolding all the pieces, and you'd think I would have caught this earlier when I was laying them out, being like, wow, there's only 4 pieces. That seems kind of odd, because the pattern is supposed to be actually done in contrasting colors. So I didn't think that at all. I didn't think anything about it. I was like, okay, whatever. I forgot to cut out the entire front panel of the shirt, so there is no front of shirt. So I can't make the shirt because I only have the back, and I have the sleeves, and I have the pants, but I don't have the front of the shirt, which is so annoying. And I don't have enough fabric, and I don't know even if I had enough to begin with. I might have been able to really squeeze it in, but I didn't because I'm a dummy. So we are pivoting, and I'm gonna go back to the thrift shop, try to find, there's another sheet that I was looking at the other day when I was there that was very similar to this. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that is still there. I'll get that, which is just really annoying. And I think what I'm gonna do instead, when I get that new fabric, I'm gonna fold it in half and I'm gonna cut the front and backs along the fold, so it's just one big shirt instead of two separate pieces that I have to sew together, because I don't actually need to do that for this costume, because there's not going to be what's it called, contrasted colors. It's just gonna be one, so I don't actually need to cut out one of each. So I'm gonna try to see if I can just cut it on the fold and then we'll be done. But I'm just so mad at myself for not having caught that earlier. Okay, see you when I get back from the store. We're back in action. I have picked up another freaking bed sheet from the thrift store. This one, which was like freaking $14 with tax. I don't know why it was so expensive, but it is. But anyway, picked up another bed sheet. I'm gonna lay it out on the floor and I'm just gonna power cut this, and then we're going to start sewing the shirt. The sewing part is not gonna take that long. I think the most time-consuming activity of this entire project will be cutting out everything, including the pattern pieces, which I thought were already cut, but weren't. So I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna jump into the sewing montage. Alright, that is side one. The instructions are a little weird because the collar doesn't line up, but that is how the patterns line up as well. So I'm not entirely sure how that part works, but I think a casing, like the top is like an elastic casing. I don't fully get that one. I'm gonna have to look into that a bit more, because that don't make no sense. Just keep going and see how this goes. The instructions are both so simple yet so vague. This is why I don't normally like sewing pattern instructions, because they're never helpful. I was generally starting to think that this shirt was cursed and that it would never end, but I think we've got a shirt. Is it correct? I don't know. The instructions kind of are super vague, but we've got a shirt. Whoa, you're like super bright. I still need to like hem everything, but it has a neck hole, which is a win. It feels weird having a shirt on a shirt. Okay. I don't know. I feel like I'm about to go hallelujah. It's like a grad gown. So I thought this was all going handy dandy well, when I realized just now that this sleeve is frickin' inside out. Yep! We got it. There we go. Okay. I've just been sewing most of the afternoon, and I have pants now. We have pants. I'm trying to debate if I add on black to the ends of these so I don't have to hem them myself. But I'm not sure if it's worth it or not. So it's inside out right now. But let's try them on. This is my first time I've ever sewn pants. And I accidentally sewed the crotch. They're a little big at the moment. Let's go. Not enough space in this room to show anything. Huzzah! That's the progress. I really just needed to like sit and just focus and do the thing. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna thread in some really skinny elastic for the ankles. I would have put in a thicker elastic like such. But unfortunately for me, this is all the elastic I have left, and is not enough to do 2 feet holes. So I'm just gonna have to use the skinny stuff, and I did not think to get more, and so yeah, that's fine. We're gonna ignore the mess that is the background. Alright, today is going to be the last day of making this heckin' clown costume. So, I gotta still make the gloves for my fingies. I've never made gloves before, so we'll see how that goes. So we have the gloves and the ruffle, like the collar ruffle, and then the little cone hat. So there's 3 tiny things that need to be made today. Come with me. So last night I did end up finishing the pants. They are a little long and I was thinking about debating whether I cut them shorter to fit better. But I spent so much time doing the elastics around the cuffs because I wanted to have the black bias tape, which you can't even see, which in theory I knew conceptually, but I did it anyways. So I finished those pants. Here's a video of me trying them on. It was very exciting. So what I ended up doing for my first test, just to see how it worked, I just took elastic and I put it down the middle of a piece, and then it just kind of scrunches itself up and folds itself over, and then you get that ruffly collar, which is fine, but I wanted it to be a little wider. And I have these pieces, and so what I'm worried about is that if I do that scrunchy bit, I don't know if, will it gather enough if I put the elastic on the far end, not in the middle? I think in theory it should. So we're gonna test it out on this piece and see what happens. Something that I completely forgot that I also wanted to do was make a cool, kind of creepy mask. One of the ones that kind of look like the theater icon, very specifically the this theater emoji that you can get, the one with the 2 masks, the happy and sad face. I thought that would be really cool to do, and I forgot I said I was gonna do that. So I need to get Ethan, my brother, to go and print that for me. So we're gonna go do that. There he goes. Mask. Oh, it's starting. Okay, so progress so far with the ruffly neck part. I have sewn on bias tape for one of them. So we have one ruffle complete, kind of. And I'm gonna sew on the second one so I don't have to keep constantly be changing thread. And then I'm going to take my really skinny elastic that I've been using, and I'm going to sew it to the farthest end here. My sample one I did right here down the middle, but I'm gonna try one version with it all the way along the far edge and see what that looks like, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for this one, and we're gonna double it up and just kind of take a stab and see what that might look like. Wow, we are really yellow right now, but whatever. Anyways, I finally finished the collar. Look at it, it's so ruffly. I'm so happy. A few things to update. Yawn. One, it's the next day. I did not finish everything yesterday, which cheeses me so much. But I spent pretty much the whole day doing this freaking collar just to take apart everything that I did to redo it again today. So yesterday pretty much was a complete scrap day where nothing productive happened. All the things that I tried doing, like with the black bias tape that you saw me doing and I had such great intentions for, yeah, none of it worked, and I had to take all of it off. And now I just have this pile of bias tape over here. It was too heavy on the collar that it wasn't just ruffling as nicely as I would have liked. So I ended up just taking it off and starting all over again, which is fine. So this is the final collar. It is actually 2 pieces. So this is the piece that I was working on yesterday. I want a slightly flatter collar look. I ended up just doing what I did with my test sample, which is I pretty much just sewed an elastic, if you can see, straight down the middle. No, focus on here. I just sewed an elastic down the middle and then attached them, the ends here, together when I finished it so that it would be easy to slide on and off my head, and I kind of just shifted the fabric along the elastic to get the proper ruching. So it's not like the craziest ruffly thing. I think you would need either a stronger elastic to do that properly, or you really just gotta like gather it by hand, but ain't nobody got time for that, so I didn't do that. So to fix that problem of its lack of, you know, floof and ruffly lookingness, I took the sample one that I had made that I thought was too skinny, which it is a little skinny and a little too big, but it looked pretty good still. So I took that and I hemmed all the edges, and then I have put it on top of it, so that way it's like a layered cupcake, like a bonnet almost. As for the mask, this is the first print of the mask, which it looks really great, but it is a little small looking on my face, so we reprinted it again, and this is the new print, so this is new versus old, so it's quite a bit bigger, but I feel like it looks better this way than before. So thanks to Ethan for doing this. He also sanded it down so it's really smooth. I don't know if you can tell. You can't. Oh yeah, you can kind of tell there's like this ruching, like this lines on the mask that we couldn't figure out why it was doing that. So I'm gonna work on this now. We're gonna add some like black fabric. I'm just gonna hot glue it in because I cannot be bothered to do anything else. So we're gonna hot glue in like a piece of black fabric to cover the mouth and the eyes, so that way you cannot see my eyes through it, and it gives that kind of like creepy theater look and vibe. And then for the gloves, I kind of took an L on this one because I was just like, I know I could make gloves and it wouldn't be a problem, but I was just kind of like, I've been working on this 2 days longer than I would have liked to have worked on this, and so I went on Amazon and I just like curiously looked up white gloves, and lo and behold, I could get a pack of 3 for like $10. And so that's like $3 a pair of gloves, and I just kind of went, whatever, I'll just order them, they'll come in today. And they did, they got here this morning. It was just something that will save me time and mental brain power thinking I have to do the gloves. And so sometimes you don't have to make everything by hand. Sometimes it's nice to. But now I got these nice gloves that are really stretchy and they fit very lovely. And now I don't have to think about it and I can move on to the next thing. So we're gonna glue in some black fabric into this mask and then get to that. Okay, we're literally gonna take this black fabric I have in my scrap stash. We're gonna cut off some pieces. There is no method to this. We're just gonna do it. And yeah, we're just gonna go like this and just cover it up.
Okay, so for the hat, I'm realizing now that I literally said nothing to the camera, but basically I just cut a semi-curved triangle from a corner of the foam. You really can't just eyeball this. It was pretty much that was it, and then I just hot glued the edges together. Probably would have been better using a stronger glue, but that's fine, it worked out. For the pom-poms, I had to enlist some help from my mom because I was really struggling to make these, so thanks Mom, I really appreciated the help. So once she finished making the actual pom-pom, she then gave them to me, and I basically just gave them a bit of a haircut to make it look all neat and nice before attaching it to the shirt. Very bad YouTuber when it comes to this project. I was doing so good for the first half of it, and then afterwards just got stressed by the time it was taking me because I just kept messing things up with attaching things inside out, ideas that I have not actually working and panning out the way I wanted it to. And so it's been a trial and error kind of project. And so that kind of just started stressing me out. And so I just did not film a lot towards the end, I feel like. So sorry about that. But I'm just gonna wait for this hot glue to set. And then this will be the last thing. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to film the reveal tomorrow, because it's just been raining for days. And then it'll be off onto the next project. So, note to self, don't do so many projects in like 2 weeks, because that's a bad idea. We're gonna let this cool down and sit for a second. Ooh, got glue stuck to my finger. And I will see you all in the reveal.
Here it is, my final Pierrot Clown costume. I am so chuffed with how this turned out. It turned out so good, and I am so over the moon excited with just the overall image and look and vibe. It is so much fun to wear. It just makes you feel like bouncy, and you need to like do jazz hands and all these other crazy things. So I'm really freaking happy with how this turned out. And I think it's really comfy, and it's probably my best made costume. And I'm just really proud of how this whole thing came together with all of its different elements. So, wrap up time. So what went well, what didn't go well? To be honest, for the most part, I think it went pretty well. I feel like all the things that didn't really go well were just things that I was experimenting with, and I kind of like talked about it throughout most of the video of the things and ideas that I tried that didn't end up working well or I would do differently. I don't really actually have that much to say as for what didn't go well. As for things that did go really well, the pom-poms I am obsessed with. I was a little worried maybe they'd be too big when we started making them, but it turned out really good. The mask I love. Don't look too hard on the inside. It's nightmare fuel, but I'm really happy with how it looked. The hat I think would be the only thing I would do differently. The pom-poms aren't spaced super amazingly. I would have spaced them a little differently, and I probably would use a stronger glue. This thing's holding on for dear life, and the back is kind of messy, but you never see that part. As for like the ruffles and stuff like that here, I noticed later when I was editing the photos that I'm actually missing this mini collar that goes on top, so I think I will probably end up finding some kind of way of being able to attach the two collars together maybe. That way I don't lose pieces and have that problem again. But all in all, I'm really happy with how this costume turned out. It's really cool looking. It's kind of spooky, but almost has this kind of like curious charm to the character. And I'm just, I didn't end up wearing it actually to my family's Halloween party. I ended up going as a duo pair costume with my cousin Lauren. We went as Gilligan and Skipper. It feels like it's such a niche reference to an old TV show that most people probably don't know about. But if you do, That's what I was Gilligan. Even though it is November like 4th today, I didn't end up getting this video done in time for Halloween, but that's okay. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Of course, as always, any materials and things that I used and links and whatnot for print files and patterns and whatnot, I will include as much of it as I can in the description box below if you want to give a Pierrot Clown or a clown costume a go. All that information will be down below. And I hope you had fun watching this. I had a really fun time making this costume, and I can't wait to bring it out again next year for Halloween and even just do more fun photos. Maybe I can make a few other ones and I can get a little group of clowns going and we'll go do fun, silly activities. I don't know. All right, guys, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. Gotta get the hype music going. Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Boys and girls of every age. Like, huh? Oh, wait, okay.
Whoops. Okay. Alright, whatever.
Oh,